we're getting it together. We got the sound.
We got sound.
We got the sound on. Is everything on?
Oh, it's time.
Hi, everybody. I think I got this right.
Yeah.
Are we on? Huh? Good? Anything? Let us know if you're here. I see a couple of people in the live. We're so stoked you're here. Welcome to Coffee and Tea. We're getting everything together. Get yourself situated.
Yeah, get yourself
Now.
a drink.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
You know what I just realized, honey?
You are so
I'm so
little.
short.
You want to stand on a thing?
I stand
I'm just
on
kidding.
a box.
I'll bring it down. I'll bring it down. You're so little.
No, I'm not so little.
Hey, Courtney Kennedy.
Hey guys, good morning.
All right, tell me when you can see yourself.
Okay. There we go. That looks good.
Yeah.
I don't want your head to be cut off, but at
Well,
least
I'll
see,
lean if I have to.
you know, more than just like the top of my
Yeah,
head.
I'll just stand back here way behind you.
No.
Good morning, T. Hello, hello. All right, can everybody hear us? All that, all good? I'm pretty sure you can. Oh, man. Cheers. I'm having espresso.
I'm
Just
having bang in a mug.
Bang energy in a mug.
I had an espresso. It didn't do it for me. You know, sometimes when you have coffee, I feel like if you're a coffee drinker, like it just stops working sometimes. Yeah.
T, just tell me, we're on the right account, right? I just want to make sure. No, this is part of love.
This is part of love.
This is part of love. We're all good on here.
We gave late notice today, baby.
We did. Well, we also said that we weren't going to be doing the lives for a second because we were working on the studio, which we are, but
it was temporarily delayed.
Postponed because that's how we do things. We announce things and then life comes up and then it gets postponed.
Right.
But we're so stoked to have you guys here today. Oh, everybody's signing on. Hello.
We should
Awesome.
message T the night before that we're gonna do it.
You know what?
And he could help you.
T, keep an eye out because that's coming your way soon. We're just gonna start sending you
spread the word
when we know that we're doing a
the
live.
press agent over here.
I mean, what's up, Megan? We are doing well. I mean, I can only speak for me, and I will wait because ladies first.
What is it?
Say hi.
How are you doing? We're doing good this morning.
Yeah.
I needed a little extra boost, I was saying, so I'm drinking my bang in a mug. Had the coffee
It just
first.
sounds dirty.
It does.
Get my bang in a mug.
Do you guys love bang? Because we're a little
Look
bit
how
obsessed.
little you are. You're so
like
short. Oh my God.
No.
Did you get shorter?
I don't know. I don't know. I can barely see because we have a camera set up and I can barely see the camera. No, but now we can't see the. Oh, okay. That's good.
Okay?
That's good. Yeah.
Can you still see this?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to come closer sometimes.
That's okay. Hi, everybody.
Love
Say
me
hello.
some candy apple crisp bang. Oh, I don't think I've ever
Candy
I've had
apple
sour
crisp?
apple. That seems good.
Yeah, the sour heads. We've had the sour heads, which I think is like an apple one.
You like Colt shirt tea? Yeah, me too. Isn't this so cute? We found it at I think an American Eagle, but you know we're like Disney freaks, so
Bow, bow, bow.
this is so cute.
Yeah, I love this thing.
Thank you. I can't wait to go to Disney again.
I mean,
like we're holding off,
obviously, but eventually.
Like,
hold on, I gotta scoot this over.
It's such an amazing place.
It's really, really fun. Hey, Mom.
Hi, guys.
Man, candy apple crisp bang tastes like green Jolly Ranchers. Are you fucking serious? Get out of here.
What's the new
That's
one
insane.
that we found? Did you try this one? It was like a purple Skittle.
Oh, it was called, okay, this is very strange. And I know that we're off on one of our usual diatribes, but that's why we're all having coffee together. This is what we do. It's called Purple Kittles.
Which sounds like you're eating little kids or something.
It sounds strange to me. There's just something in it that, and I don't want to be like some, like, I don't know, oversensitive, woke weirdo, but I just feel like
that probably shouldn't be like the name of it.
I just feel like calling it Purple Kittles, like
I understand, like, you know, a reference, but either way, it's very good.
Okay, everybody's out here loving Disney, and that's the truth. Now, if you have had Bang, can you please let me know what your favorite flavor is? Because I have been on the search for the perfect flavor.
Well, yours is the cherry lime, right?
Cherry blade lemonade is amazing. That's my favorite so far.
I honestly think my favorite is that peach mango. I really like
Peach
the peach
mango's
mango.
good. Peach mango's
You
good.
think it's boring?
I it's peach, it's mango, it's fine. I'm just saying, it's only two things:
You know
cherries,
why you like it?
blades, and
Colt
lemonades.
was the little boy. I can only assume.
There we go.
Because he was the grown boy.
Yeah, it was the grown
doing
man.
this. We first started dating, and he would do this thing where he would buy 1 billion beverages, like at the 7-Eleven, let's say, like, you know, and there would be a lemonade, a Coke, a Dr. Pepper, like all the choices,
I was making
right?
hurricanes. I was making virgin hurricanes.
And then he would mix it all. There was no alcohol. He would mix it all in a glass, and then he would take a sip and decide he didn't like it enough to finish it, but then he'd leave it in the fridge. Like just a full glass of random liquids. And I thought I was going to murder you. And I was like, you realize that you just waste drinks all
Yes.
making these concoctions.
Yes.
And then you don't drink them, but you feel bad. So you leave them as if I'm going to drink them.
Well, I didn't know if maybe they get better with age. Like that's how it happens with wine. Why not with sodas and juices? Look, okay. So when I was a kid, we used to go to, do you guys out there know Fuddruckers? Is that a popular chain anywhere that anybody else has?
Fuddruckers, I think, all over the States.
Well, all over the States, but not necessarily. I'm guessing, I don't remember the last time I saw
Europe.
Fuddruckers in London
definitely.
or in Europe in general. I don't think it's crossed
so.
the pond, and I think that's understandable. But it was specifically, my mom and I would go to Fuddruckers, and it had like 30 different, and it was probably like 10 different sodas, including lemonades and sweet teas, and I would just
right,
and I would just do as many mixtures as I could, and it was always really, really good. And so then I was like, oh, I'm going to try and do this at home. Like, cause I'm obviously a cook, like at home. Obviously I'm a mixologist in New York at 22 years old. And so I would go to the store and I would get all of the drinks and I'd pour them, and it was just never the same. You know, it's different out of the tap, as they say, you know. When you got a beer on tap, it's gonna be different than out of the can.
There's nothing like those soda machines, though, where you get the unlimited refills, and you just did that as a kid. I did it at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh,
that was
your fountain soda hurricane.
Yeah, but I never was a mixer.
You're not a mixy person in general.
I would try to get through several sodas, but I would never mix them.
Yeah, you drank a lot of soda. She would drink a 2 liter of Coke before bed.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
I drink a lot of
Look
soda.
how little. She's so little. She's the size of a 2 liter bottle. Gross.
And what's funny is we don't drink soda ever anymore.
That's not
It's not a thing.
Although we drink Bang occasionally.
Yeah.
Energy drinks are sneaky, because when you're performing and you have like a third of one, like 100 of, because it's 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, we save them. You gotta space
so
it out.
much.
Yeah.
But when you're doing a show, you're like, oh no, I'm gonna bang this out. It seems very apropos. But then you're working for 2 hours and you're running around, you're going upstairs, even if you're, have a fucking cush track like I did in Aladdin, where you're like, I'm on stage and now I'm gonna take a break. It's been 45 minutes. I don't smoke, and then you go back on stage and you're like, da, 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 da. Even doing that, you're still running around the building, going up and down stairs.
So you're saying when you're not active and you drink Bang, it's dangerous.
Yes, you go to the gym for 30 minutes and then you come back and you're like.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to the gym today. I never go to the gym. But I hate the gym.
You don't have to.
But I am drinking this Bang because I needed it.
You needed it.
Guilt-free. How's it going, guys? Let's check in.
Guilt-free. Just got to say that this excellent timing, as I have literally just got off from online uni. My tutor said he likes an offer tea, and my classmate called Pete said he doesn't drink tea. I don't drink tea either. Angelina drinks tea. It's not that I don't drink tea. I don't drink tea often.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I drink it often, but I drink certain types of tea for certain different reasons.
This is a very clueless look that I have going on with you. Like I'm leaning on, it's the
very
the
like
Elton.
90s. It's the Elton.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was thinking about how much I love you.
I love you too.
Hot.
But I love tea.
Do y'all like tea? I mean, this is coffee and tea, so.
But I always make sure that the tea I'm drinking is like for a purpose. So like I have a detox tea. Like if I think that I've had a little too much that week,
Smooth move.
or if you can't make a movement, you know what I'm
Can't
talking
poop.
about. Smooth Move is my favorite tea. I know there's like lots of movement teas, if you know what I mean. But
Poop teas.
poop teas. I think there is an actual one that's called poop tea too. But Smooth Move does it for me. Like
It does.
like
Unfortunately.
in 3 hours, it's out, and I mean everything is out.
Yeah. So if we didn't make the disclaimer, this is not a show for kids. All right. Although the poop jokes are probably more
The kids
for the
probably
kids.
love
This part. Do y'all drink? I mean, we've talked about this before. Who's coffee drinkers? Who's tea drinkers? I again have my espresso. I have it in a tiny little old Italian man glass that I love. All right, let's get back
Do you
over
want to
here.
recap the episodes? Should we do that?
I just wanted to finish going through here.
Oh.
I drink an entire can and then regret it later. Right, Megan? Because
Oh, yeah.
sometimes cherry blade
Go
lemonade,
crazy.
again, made with real blades, is so incredible. Why would you not drink the whole thing? But then as soon as you finish it, like I can be in the gym working out, running full tilt, or like doing a full like HIIT, high intensity interval training.
Oh.
It's very popular.
Oh, okay.
I can be like going full tilt in the gym and still be like, I have to go faster. It's so much energy.
Yeah, because your heart is going to explode.
Exactly. Which
You
is,
need to make them in tiny cans.
if they made little shots
Single
of
serves.
bang
Single serve.
shot,
Yeah.
buckshot, they could call it, or so, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I was brought up on tea. It's an institution. I understand that. Brandon talked about that in one of the episodes recently where he was like, I just love my tea. It's just a thing that I like lately. I was like, cool. I do not know how the tea thing. Billy likes tea.
Really?
One of my very good friends loves tea. Used to have it all the time. I think that's more of a singing thing though. I know a lot of singers love tea.
Well, throat coat is a beautiful thing to do.
Tea drinkers. We got more tea drinkers over here. Psh, whatever.
Oh, we have a very refined group.
All right. Speaking of, let's get into. Oh, we got some more. They actually have 5-hour energy sizes of Bang, but it's still 300 milligrams of caffeine.
I mean,
that's
crazy.
Put down a fucking bull elk with one of those things. You got to be careful. That's dangerous. Kelly, what's up? Tea in the afternoon, but the only thing that brings me up to life in the morning is a great cup of coffee or two.
Yeah, I was just thinking, Kel, though, like I'm drinking Bang this morning because I can't, like the coffee, I'm numb to the coffee.
She is.
Like and honestly, I keep drinking it and it's making me nauseous and I'm not getting more awake. So I don't know what's happening here, but I have to.
I don't know, but I think the Bang's working.
The Bang is working.
Now, meanwhile, I have had less than a full espresso, and I'm like, does it working? I don't even know if it's working. I feel like it's working. Is anybody else itchy? Like,
you're very sensitive to it.
I am.
That's good.
Which is good, but also I actually like the taste of coffee, but I can't drink even a whole cup of coffee because by the end of it, I'm like, and I start getting all worked up.
You cute.
Oh, whatever. World's problems can be sorted over a brew. I like that. No, I like that a lot. So we're going to talk about this week's episodes or last week's episodes. I'm actually pretty excited about.
I loved your
Tuesday's episode was. It was almost like it didn't happen.
Right.
Like it was just so forgettable.
Like,
so I apologize.
Sorry, a little bit of life got in the way.
A little bit of life got in the way, but that's okay. Thank you guys for being so patient and waiting for the Thursday video. But I really enjoyed that talk.
I did too, and I didn't expect to have so much clarity around that. You know,
or to have so much clarity come from it. And that's one of the nice things that's happened for us. I think, I feel like I can say that, that part of love has been this first year and change, and this journey to meeting all of you has been so rewarding in so many ways. But also every time that we explore these topics, it helps us. And then when we're watching them back, it helps us again. And then when we're putting them up, there's so much reflection, and it's what actually ended up unintentionally bringing around the end of that conversation, which was the episode on Thursday. For anybody who didn't catch it yet, it's not, spoiler alert, but it's about when is it time to end a relationship? Like, when do you know a relationship is over? And one of the things that we talked about was, look, there's no steadfast rule for that. I have things that I know when a relationship is over. You have things that you know. I think there are general things, but we talked about filming yourself when you're really upset and when you're really on a rant about something, or how you really feel, and filming yourself and then watching it back and seeing who you are in those moments of frustration, of anger, of whatever. But the reason I'm bringing it up here is because that's what this has been. Yes. It's really been so much more.
See yourself a little more clearly. I mean, to physically actually see yourself.
Literally. I'm gonna bring this down for you.
Oh yeah, thanks. Because I'm like, can they see me? What I love about it, though, when I realized is there is no concrete answer to know when a relationship is over. I think that was the thing that I was nervous about even diving into this, because it's sometimes we push really fighting for each other and trying, and your head's gonna get cut off now.
I'm lowering this, but not. Damn it.
Yeah, your head's cut off.
I was so close. Sorry.
You want hair?
Yes, I would like to keep my hair.
But yeah, it's that inner knowing, inner feeling. You have to just listen to your gut. Because sometimes you just can't try any harder. You just can't. Yeah. There's no other options, Or again, maybe you didn't try enough and we pushed that a lot. Maybe you have to fight for it and fight for each other. But at a certain point, you have to go with your gut instinct and know when you just can't. Well,
also, I think a lot of times people ask, well, how do I know? How do I know if I should be fighting for this relationship? I don't know. You do. And if you don't want to fight for that relationship, you shouldn't be fighting for that relationship.
Yeah.
It's actually really simple.
Yeah. If you don't want this but again, that comes down to self-awareness and being able to be fully honest with yourself. I mean, that takes a lot of guts to admit, something like that.
And you have to be, it's the self-awareness. What do we always come back to, y'all? Self-awareness. It all comes back to self-awareness, which we've kind of put out there as the what and why.
Yeah.
That's the number one thing. If that's not somewhere in the title of our first fucking book,
right?
What and why, or something that is the entire point.
But I think we all owe it to ourselves to really work on that. That is the one gift we can give ourselves, is training ourselves to be more and more and more self-aware. Because the more self-aware we are, the more honest and fulfilling we're going to, find ourselves in these amazing relationships or
and the better you can be at love in general.
Yes. And self-love too. But
well, you know what? Brandon brought up something that I actually kind of liked in the refinery, because we're going to get to the refinery episode right after this.
Oh, yes.
And one of the things that I really liked that he brought up in one of the previous episodes, and we may have talked about it on here, I don't know, was he said, I have a really hard time with all this self-love stuff and all this self-love talk. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know how to love yourself. And I said, I totally understand that. I don't think it's all bullshit. I think there are gems to mine throughout a lot of that, those teachings, those talks, those kind of phrases. But not redefining, but kind of shifting our focus from self-love, from this term of, well, self-love and do these things for myself and take myself out to dinner. Self-awareness. Self-awareness is the focus. And I want to make sure that on here that we are not conflating those two statements.
Yeah.
Because self-love, that is its own business, but we are talking about the way to be better at love. One of the biggest parts of love, if not I would argue, the single biggest part of love is self-awareness. Mm-hmm. I feel like I can make a solid argument for that.
Yes. It all stems back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't make any proper decisions about even how you feel without being entirely self-aware. You know what I mean? And
that's, I think, one of the huge problems is that how many times do we all go, like, we make these mistakes, we make these choices that, and I'm fine with calling them mistakes. Like, I'm not real big on the whole, like, I have no regrets in my life. No, I have things that I definitely regret. Like, I totally wish that I wouldn't have acted like an asshole at this, or I wouldn't have said this, or I wouldn't have done this. But they were mistakes. That is a thing.
And then you learn.
Yeah. Now, granted, those mistakes brought me here. Mm-hmm. So I win. I'm happy. Like, I'm super stoked about that. But I lost my train of thought because I thought about how much I love you.
We were talking about, self-awareness and how self-awareness teaches us. It's the number one tool for being a good lover.
Oh yeah, and what I'm saying is that those mistakes that we make when we take those kind of missteps in love are a lack of self-awareness.
Yes.
The missteps that I've made in our entire relationship have been a lack of self-awareness or a lack of willingness to admit the things that I'm fully fucking aware of.
Right. Well, and I was recapping, a relationship that I was in that was
in the episode.
Yeah.
Just in
on
case
Thursday.
anybody hasn't seen it.
With a lovely person, that I cared about deeply, and treated me very well. And the hard thing was that I didn't want to be honest with myself and say, well, it's over, because it was a hard relationship to exit, because it wasn't abusive. There was not a lot of drama. He was a very kind person and a really good friend. And so it was hard to. A very nice person. Nice. I know.
Sorry. No, I'm just saying there is a difference between nice and kind. I'm making a video about it.
Right. But, those relationships are actually sometimes the hardest to exit, because you don't have concrete, problems that you can say, well, they punched me in the face. Like,
solid reason to leave.
Right. Like, so I struggled for a long time, and I had to really be honest with myself and go, Angelina, this is not your dream love. Like, this is not the love that you've been dreaming of and waiting for your whole life.
Yes.
And the scary thing is, giving up something that is mediocre and wondering if you'll ever find that fantasy love, or is it better just to stay with the mediocre relationship? And do you want more? Are you willing to give that up in search of finding more and possibly maybe not find it?
Well, I kind of also want to touch on this soon, and let me know in the comments, you guys, if this is something that interests you at all. But it does interest me, so I'm gonna explore it anyway. There are some people who, for whatever reason, are not, and not for whatever reason, for whatever their personal reason is, are not interested in that, like, Hollywood, hot pink fireworks kind of day-to-day romance love. Whether it just doesn't strike them from a very young age, or there's a million other things that personally they want to deal with. Like, some people aren't interested in relationships that way, but if you are, you deserve that. That's why our whole thing is helping you find the love you deserve.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always been so driven by love. I was driven to find you, and on that search, though, it led me down some very interesting roads with some very interesting people. Learned a lot.
Really fun times. Some really fun times. Some really not fun times also. Definitely peaks and valleys.
Right.
But so that was what the Thursday podcast style episode was about how do you know when a relationship is over? And I really want to get y'all's thoughts on it. So I'm going to go over here to the comments. I'm going to check these out. All right. Brought up on T. We are 5 hour energy. T. Kelly. All right. Need a good strong pick me up. I have a red eye. Regular cup of coffee with an added shot of espresso. I have done that before. Huge mistake for me. Terrible idea. Hey, T-Vaughn, 1 year and part of love next month. So stoked about that.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Mel, can I just say a big thank you? I've only watched Part of Love for a few weeks, but because of you, both we decided to renew our vows in 2023.
Yes.
Hey-o!
Congrats.
Congratulations. All right, Kelly, I think that unless both of you are fighting for the relationship in some way, then it's not worth it. It cannot be one-sided. The one putting in the effort will inevitably feel defeated and frustrated. Yes,
100%.
Absolutely. I think that happens a lot of times.
Yeah. And that is definitely a sign, I think, that if that person doesn't also want to pull up and fight for you, then that's a clear sign to exit.
Well, maybe one of the next, maybe like second biggest part of love is like self-awareness is also awareness of the things that affect yourself, like the people around you, right?
Yes.
So maybe that's like a subsection, a little subreddit down here.
Well, I also think too, and just going quickly back to this, the more self-aware you are, the more you're cultivating self-respect.
Oh.
And so maybe that is, I think now that I'm saying it out loud, that it's got to be a giant part of this, right? And the more self-respect you have for yourself, we treat people, we teach people how to treat us. Mm-hmm. I love that Maya Angelou quote. And so, the more you cultivate self-awareness, the more self-respect you'll have, and the more we can teach people how we deserve to be treated. Yeah.
And that's one of those things that we say, or we've said in previous videos of you decide whether or not, like what you will and what you won't accept.
Yes.
You decide that.
That was a good video.
So you choose, okay, this is the level of love I'm willing to accept. This is the level of action or inaction over time that I'm willing to accept. How much time that is, how much inaction or how much negative action towards you, you feel, take stock of that. And Kelly, you're totally right. If somebody is out there not even trying, you're putting all of your energy into working on the relationship, I mean, we talked about that in our big, I don't think we fully touched on it yet, but the LA fault line fight, the fault line fight, our big LA fight, we talk about the thing that brought us back together and made us stronger than ever before. And the hardest part of our life was exactly that. She was working really hard. I was working really hard, but not for our relationship necessarily. Like we weren't connecting about it. No. We were both working for our relationship, but we weren't doing it together. And I think that is kind of another unintentional sub thread here. You can both be working, but if you don't talk about what the goal you're working towards is, are you really working on the same thing?
We had a serious lack of communication.
Because I thought I was working on creating something for us, and you were like just trying to hold together what we already had because, and
I felt like things were falling
so
apart.
the goals were doing this. They were technically running on parallel tracks or nearly parallel, but slowly moving apart. And that was a huge problem for us.
Well, and too, I say we had a serious lack of communication, but let me deep dive on that really quickly too. We spoke a lot, we talked a lot, we fought a lot, we cried a lot. We were trying to communicate, but what we didn't do is like communicate like our end goals, I think, and what we needed, like as a family and as a couple. I think that's so important to communicate, like, well, what do you want out of this? And what do you see for us down the road in a month, a year, 10 years? What do you want out of this? And what does it look like to you? And how do we get there? But we you know, again, you live, you learn. We were in our 20s, you know?
We were in our 20s. We were figuring it out. And also we were so fortunate to have lived such a large amount of life at that point.
Yes.
That I know for me, I was scared because I was like, well, I don't see a full future doing exactly what I've been doing. Like, I don't see myself being fulfilled doing what I've been doing this far forever.
Yeah.
If I never get to another level career-wise of what I'm doing right now, I've already reached what I always thought I would do. So now I want to do something more and something else. And I never communicated that.
Right.
So it was just, or how to do it.
Yeah.
And I never researched how to do it. So I wasn't really working for us the way that there you go.
Yeah.
Here's a life.
Literally.
And we're back moving towards each other.
Yeah.
So I really like that, Kelly. That's a great, great point. Before we go any further in the comments, I wanted to throw something out there. You guys, I think anybody who's here but is already subscribed, but if you are watching this later on and you are not subscribed, you just happen to find the channel, please subscribe. We'd love you to do it. All the YouTube
and when
things.
you press the like button, it really helps us.
Yes, the like button. And also, I'm so excited to share this. You guys know that we a while back were like, hey, we hit the certain amount of watch time hours and the blah blah blahs and the this and that for the YouTube partnership program, but we are accepted into it. We got our notice recently. So some of the videos, not all of them, but some of the videos are going to start being monetized, which just means there may be ads on certain videos. Right now, it's just on older videos, so that when new people come to the channel that aren't y'all, they may have to, watch ads. We don't want to have those on all of our videos, especially not the new ones right now, just because you guys are the best. And I know how much I fucking hate watching ads. So we just wanted to let you know, we're so excited about that, but there are those ads that may be in there, and it's all because of you. So thank you so, so much for helping us get monetized on here. Yeah, we're growing every day. It's really exciting. More people are watching, more people are subscribing, more people are liking the videos and seeing them. And that's all because you guys helped us build this platform. So thank you so much. Okay, cool. Back to the comments. Kelly, T, one of the things I've learned is self-love. And because of that, I now have my personal Instagram account, and that's thanks to you guys. Hey, yes, you do.
We always say this, but we're just so proud of you, T. We're proud of all of you, and we've all been kind of growing together. Yeah. And though we're at all different places in our journeys, as it were, like we're all doing this together, and helping each other. And like we've just watched so many of you grow and share your stories with us, and it's just such an awesome thing to be a part of. Yeah, it feels really, really special. So yeah, thank you so much to be here in like the first year of everything, and for it to be just, you guys are so great. We've got so many cool surprises coming soon. Novalee, hey, what's up? Novalee Vlogs. I've been reading all you read. Oh, sorry. I'm trying to figure out where.
So cute.
Kelly Goff, of course, life happens, and sometimes one partner shoulders more work than other if you're going through a hard time and need to lean on them for support, but it has to be a healthy balance, 150%. Actually, we were going through something, a talk last night.
Oh my God, yeah. This is funny that this is coming up.
Yeah, and I've needed a little more support lately, and you have been really helping me through a lot of things, but
sorry.
Yeah, but it was getting, I now have to kind of pick myself up by my bootstraps and start pushing again, because I can't put all of the weight on you, and that is, I don't know, something I realized. I was like, it's so beautiful to be able to lean on your partner and get support, and it's also nice when your partner can push you though, and you can push yourself. So it is all about that healthy balance. We said something last night that I really appreciated that we kind of came to together, which is sometimes you find yourself, and I found myself in this space at a certain point in our relationship, and you pulled me out, but it was hard, and vice versa. At different points, like you said, Kelly, like one person is going to be
in a different space. Life happens, right? Personal things, physical things, emotional things, work things happen, right? Life happens. But if you get to that place where you're constantly in the darkness, and then when somebody tries to help you, it upsets you and puts you into more darkness, as opposed to you looking at it like that, you can start looking at it like, the person who's trying to help me is offering me light in this darkness. I don't need to sink further into the darkness. I need to allow myself to go, okay, this light is different than what I've been feeling. That's why it's uncomfortable.
Right.
I do have to accept certain things, but boom. And that's how you brought me forward. And that's one of the things that we talked about was, have you been in a funk in a little bit? Like, and do you have every right to? Yes. Yes. Do I love you so much that I want whatever will help you move forward? Yes.
Yes, I know that.
And
I think that was something that I was stuck on, though, was that thing when someone...
I have a little door open here.
Okay, great. When someone pushes you, like that loves you, we can either take it, like you said, it can push us further into the darkness or into the light, or you can take it as, oh, this person loves me enough to tell me the truth, push me, help me grow, which can be uncomfortable. But I realized last night, I was like, oh, I take it as like, I was going into the darkness a little more with it because I was so shameful, and when you haven't dealt with like your shame issues, which we all have a lot of that too, like I felt bad for not rising to the occasion earlier. And then I let myself feel even more bad and more ashamed. And, that's a terrible like spiral to go down, that shame spiral.
Have you ever not texted somebody back? Have you like, there's something, if you're a procrastinator, you know about this. If you haven't texted somebody back and then the end of the day comes and you're like, oh, I didn't text them back, but now
I feel so weird. And then you let it go.
And then you let it go. And then it's been a week. And then it's been like 2 weeks.
I think this is my life problem.
I mean, it's a procrastination issue, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to some degree.
But I feel shame for not doing it. And then I'll feel shame like tenfold every day that goes by. And then I just have to fully block it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
And then you're like, it didn't really happen. It's not real. They never texted. What are texts? Time is an illusion.
Get it.
So those times totally exist. And I'm glad that you brought that up. And as we've said many times on here, like this is not, we don't know all of the answers. We are just sharing our experiences
and our struggles,
trying to be as brutally honest as possible through it all. And so that's one of those things, but I'm really happy that out of that, again, this conversation came. And like I said, this thing is so cathartic sometimes.
Yeah.
Being able to be here and doing this.
But choose the light. See the good.
Choose the light. When somebody tries to help you, choose the light. Like go towards that. Mm-hmm. I also just before we jump off of this, the door that I had open was, it doesn't have to be when somebody offers you help, suddenly you go, I'm in the light now. Everything's fine. Don't do that. It's baby steps, right? It's just baby steps. I think you've been saying the most beautiful thing lately. Just do one more right thing at a time.
Yeah. That's all you can do, right? And if you can, it's very overwhelming for me. Certain things, when I'm going through something big, especially to try and tackle the whole end goal, big picture, and just and I'm, especially because I always try and, plan 25 steps ahead. I have to stop doing that. And I have to go what's the next right thing to do? Just what is the one next right thing to do? And if you can get there, great, amazing. Then you can celebrate and then you can look at the next right thing to do. But when you take in all those, thousands of steps, it's very overwhelming. And then you totally procrastinate and I panic, go into a freaking panic spiral.
Yeah, you spiral.
Yeah. So,
and not just you, then the proverbial you. I also tend to do this.
Yeah.
And it just, right now is my turn to be able to help. So be willing to trade off. Be willing to help, be willing to share in the load of the relationship. Because, I mean, if you really want to be in the relationship, if you want to be in a movie, go get a VR headset. Like, if you want to be in a relationship, suck it up. It's gonna be some ups and downs, and you're gonna have to look the person you love most in the world in the eye and tell them the thing they least want to hear. And that is not to be mean. If you're doing it for that reason,
Yes.
fuck you. That's so shitty.
You
Don't do
know,
that.
self-awareness.
And we've all done that, where we say just mean things. Don't be like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I love you.
Probably me too.
Okay, I think we're at Andrew Pollock. Hey, sorry, just came from a Zoom call and have just noticed that you were live. Totally agree with you. It's the end of a relationship. It's the end of it from a firsthand experience. Okay, now this begs a question, Andrew. If you don't mind, would you let me know when you're done with a relationship, you're cut off.
Yeah, like what?
Get out of here.
But what
are you burning their stuff?
You?
Like, are you out? Well, I kind of want to know, like, the post-mortem, because I know a lot of people who are like, I'm best friend with all my exes. Now I know that
is not something that I can imagine doing. I
just
can't.
But I will say we talked about this in a live at some point, and somebody brought up that in specifically, and I know a lot of our friends are like this in the gay community.
Yes,
that's something, and obviously there's no one person or even 10 people or 100 people or 1,000 people that speak for any community, but that it's far more common
in their experience.
They were saying in their experience, and I don't know a ton of people who stay friends with their like long-term exes unless there's children involved. That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole issue.
But
not issue.
But I tend to agree with you, Andrew, that I'm like, I'm going to balance. And I used to have a very hard time with that because I'd be like, no, we're done. You will?
Oh my God.
Like, no, just because it was, because it's
not a
comforting.
friendship. That's I'm
not talking about friend. Wait, oh, you're saying no, yeah, no, I was like,
that's just a booty call with your ex, and we all have done that, but and that's comforting sometimes, of course, but that's not like a friendship here.
Yeah, no, I don't
like a genuine friendship.
I can't think of anybody that I've dated that I have a sustained friendship with. And that was something that you and I kind of is commiserated the right word here? Over when we met, that kind of, you were like, I don't even understand that. And I was like, oh my God, me either. But so many people around me were.
Well, I think the hard thing that I can't wrap my head around is that if you were the breaker-upper, then it's probably easier for you to maintain a friendship if it ended on good terms. But it's probably also very difficult to, like, the other person probably, they didn't want to break up. So then it's like, well, they still have these very strong feelings romantically for you. Mm-hmm. How do you exist in a relationship that is like that? You know what I mean? Because friendships also have to be balanced. It's just like any other relationship, and you've disrupted the balance here.
You know what I've never experienced, though, is an amicable breakup. I think that would obviously drastically change things.
Yeah, if you're both like, you know what?
We've grown apart.
It's not working.
We have a very good friend who was married, got divorced, says it was amicable. They talk, not regularly, but they're fairly close.
Yes.
They were together for a very long time, mm-hmm. So he still talks to, I think, to some degree, or did for a while, to her parents and like those things. Like that, I can almost, like, that was the first time that I was like, oh, wow. Like, he would talk about her. We were out at a bar, and he was texting, and I was like, who are you texting with? And he was like, blah, blah, blah. Oh.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh no, she just, like, her parents' birthday was this weekend. And so I just texted them. And so, and I was like, oh, wow. That took a lot of chutzpah, but they also very openly were both like, look, we are great friends, but we're just roommates at this point. We have grown apart. You did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. We're just not into this anymore.
That's a very rare occasion.
They went their separate ways.
Yeah.
I just thought that was.
They maintain
It's blows my mind.
Yeah.
Matter of
More power to you, though. I mean, great. If that works for you.
Good on you. Nova Lee, I rescued Red Nose Pit to help in my anxiety. I love that. Little Pitty.
Send us a picture.
I was gonna say, yeah, send us a picture in the DMs or
I wish
I
you
don't
could put pictures
know. I say that, but then KY might come on and just.
Oh God! Remember when KY visited us?
You guys
a couple
remember?
Lives ago?
KY Jelly came on here commenting away. Turned out it wasn't JD Sevs. But
and they never sent us those samples.
They never did.
For, so.
Just rude, honestly. Mel, ads pee me off. It's my bugbear. Hence, I get YouTube Premium equals no ads. Thankfully, see, there you go. That I also did that. I'm with you. Oh, you guys, you're so sweet. Thank you, T. Kimmy, good afternoon. Hey, Kimmy. Hello to everybody. And any newbies, Michael Mina, Emily, everybody's on here.
This is
Come
awesome,
on,
guys. Everyone's saying hey.
Done. You break up for a reason, so I stay friends too. Absolutely. And yes, if there's cheating involved, that is a whole other thing. We have videos about that. Actually, for Megan was the first person to make a special request that we made a video specifically.
That was an early on
That was
video.
one of our first videos in the studio.
Oh, yes, that's
one of our first studio videos. Studio 1.0. Get ready for 2.0. It's going to be awesome. Andrew, when me and my ex broke up, she took her stuff and left, but for the sake of our pets, we're now friends as they are both of ours. So she needs me to look after them. She fetches them over. Now I have an amazing girlfriend who understands each other's needs. Congratulations on that.
You do.
Love that. And also, like I said, if there's kids involved, and that is furry children or human children.
You can't break their hearts.
Especially if you've been together for a long time, you got them together, you chose those things. Jesus, if you suddenly woke up and were a robot and were like, I am leaving you.
Yeah.
And left, I'd be like, well, first I'd be like, it's a terrible robot impression. And then I'd be like, well, I've got to come too, because the girls, like, if you can't take them, like, I gotta go with you. I totally understand that. And that's one of those, special situations that happens.
That's very respectable though. And that's awesome that you were able to work that out.
Yeah. And that you have a girlfriend now that understands that situation and, can work through that with you. That's fucking amazing. Congratulations. Stoked to keep up on that. Hear about it. Wait, what kind of little fur babies? What kind of pups? Oh, your pets. What kind of pets? Throw that down there if you want to share it. You don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I just want to know. To any new people in here, please subscribe to Part of Love. If you haven't yet, hit the like button. Colt and Andrew, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, T.
Our press agent over here.
Apparently getting likes on your videos is like a good thing, which obviously I understand conceptually.
I'm not.
We're not great at the self-promotion, like pushing.
I didn't realize that it does help the algorithm, so more people can be a part of our community if you.
The more like button, the more like buttons, and the more watch time, like it actually pushes the video to more people, so the more people can join the community. It's all those things. No pressure. Like do it. Do it. Andrew, yes, my ex cheated and I found out and we talked about it. However, it was going on for over a year and I decided I needed space to get my head around it. Also affected my work for a while, I'm sure. Okay. So I went through a similar thing with someone I had been dating for a long time. We had been working together. We were in college, at my college.
Yes. This is quite the story.
I ended up, we broke up, and a week later, 2 weeks later, I called one of my very, very good friends who also lived in the city where she now lived. And I was like, hey, I just, I want to win her back. I'm so sad. What can I do? And he was like, I don't know, man. We're going to figure it out though. Let me call you back later. And I was like, okay. And then I called her and was just like, hey, I want to win you back. And she was like, no, I'm dating the person you just got off the phone with. Sorry.
You guys, I mean,
like that.
Can I say this? You would need to do an episode about that, because this, you guys, if you've had a similar situation, put it in the comments. But your really good friend started dating your ex.
Well, it is what it is. We'll do a whole episode on it, but I feel you on that whole, it wasn't cheating. It felt like the friend cheated more than than it was a whole thing. But I feel that thing, because you do have to just take some space. I took some space. I had a very emotional reaction at first, but within the day, I had another conversation with both of them, and then no more for a while. And then Dumbo over here started dating her again, like 6 months to a year after that. So I feel you, and it's not her, obviously. So, sometimes those things,
it can absolutely affect your work, though.
Of course. And it did. I was still in college. It definitely affected everything that I did. It affected my productivity. It affected how I dealt with situations.
I also think, though, something interesting about Andrew's situation, if it was going on for about a year and you didn't know, you kind of, it's not like a one-time thing. If it was going on for a year, you kind of must feel like,
how much of this was a lie?
Like, was this a facade? Yeah. Like, why did you even bother staying? Like, what? I'm sure all these emotions were running through your head, and of course, it takes a toll on you.
You know what the irony of cheating is that if somebody's cheating, they're not getting. We feel okay. I'm gonna throw this out here. Probably should have waited for. I keep trying to move my sleeves up because they're just my arms aren't quite big enough to fill the. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. I just keep doing this, and I don't want anybody to think I have like restless arm syndrome. It's good. It's good. I'm losing it. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. So one of the irony of cheating is that we always feel like the person cheating is looking for, they found something that we don't give them. But why do they stay with us? Because the person they're cheating with isn't giving them what we're giving them. They're not getting enough from either person.
Yeah, they're trying to complete the circle.
Exactly. And neither one of them is doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on you. That's not a knock necessarily. I mean, if it was to knock anybody, it'd be knocking the person cheating instead of them having the self-awareness.
Exactly.
I can't do this anymore. I'm not into this. But good on you for figuring out how to take some space, go have the self-awareness to go, you know what? This doesn't work. My work is crumbling. Like, I'm having trouble at work. I obviously am having trouble here in this relationship. Yeah. I'm going to step back. I need some space. We just made a video on time and space. That's not just for small arguments. That's for big arguments and life decisions too. It's the only thing that's going to give you the clarity that you need to make the best, most informed decision.
I mean, sorry, I just went off on my own little train.
I love it.
I have cheated on people. It's a terrible thing to do. But I think there was something that happened. It's like a signal that goes off in your brain, and you're like, shit, I just did this horrible, horrible, horrible thing. And it hurt someone that I care about, at least, otherwise I wouldn't be with them. I have to end this relationship. Like, it's a signal. Like, if you feel even the urge to cheat, you need to exit the relationship, because it's not worth hurting that person. And you think, well, if I break up with them, I'm going to hurt them, but you're doing them a favor in the long run, and you're respecting each other. Like, it's just, I don't know, the older I get, I'm like, I wish I had the foresight to go, if the signal is going off, you just got to get out.
Yeah.
Don't cheat. Just, you can sleep with whoever you want if you get out.
That's the unsung
just get out.
Hero of just breaking up with someone. We've said this before.
It's just like, why didn't we do it?
Didn't we talk about this in one of our first? I remember in one of the first hotel level episodes.
Oh gosh.
We talked about why breaking up is awesome, and we're gonna make a follow up video to that, because breaking up can be so awesome.
Yes.
because for one, it frees you up emotionally. For you know what, I'm just gonna link the video up here. We're 55 minutes ish. It's up here in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that's the best.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, for one, you're free of now. There are obviously creature comforts. There's day-to-day things. There's, you know, you see a certain bag of potato chips that you guys used to love eating together, and you can't watch certain TV shows.
Any breakup, I feel like, is generally painful.
Yeah.
But
that's good. It causes growth.
Yes.
It forces growth. I
But
dig
man,
it. I say,
if you get the urge, just free yourself up. Save your heart. Save their heart. Bada bye. Bada boom.
there it is. All right, where are we at? All right, Nova Lee. Now I have 5 dogs and 3 cats.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of poop in that household.
Always comes back to poop with
Man.
this one. I apologize, everybody.
You must have like an industrial sized poop scooper. Because that is a lot of poop. Good for you, though.
Andrew, 2 dogs, Chihuahua, and a cross between a sausage dog and a beagle, and 2 baby kittens. Oh my gosh.
That's good on you too, man.
Y'all. Oh, I bet they're adorable.
Yeah, they're probably so cute.
Just trying to push it for you. Oh, thanks, T. And yes, sausage dog. I like that. 22-pound Chihuahua. Is that like a world record size Chihuahua? I have never heard of a Chihuahua that's 22 pounds. It's amazing. Is it crossed with something?
I feel like it has to be 22 pounds. That's a big
Is it like a Chihuahua Labrador mix? Is that a thing? That's awesome.
No, believe my dad's wife cheated on him with his best friend
Oh,
after they were married for 7 years. That's rough. That is rough.
yeah.
I had a friend that their parents, this is a crazy story, and I never actually, she also didn't know how she felt about this, but her parents and her best friend's parents were cheating on each other with each other.
So they were swinging, but unintentionally.
Yes.
Cool.
And then they found out about it, and they remarried the opposite couple.
No.
Yes. They didn't, I don't think they maintained a friendship after that, but they literally swapped and got remarried.
So they did wife swap, but in real life.
Yeah.
And forever.
And forever.
They were like,
a crazy story.
They were like, we can't do this. This is so wrong, but so right. And then they're like, oh shit, they're also
doing it.
You guys just want to stay. You know, I'm gonna stay here. You stay there. Can I just have my stuff? Just throw it across the hall.
But they were like best friends.
Y'all.
So weird.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
Gross. That gives you full body shivers.
Right?
Wow.
It's so crazy.
All right, Kelly. I realized my last relationship was over for me emotionally when I started looking forward to hearing from other people more than my partner. At that point, I knew I was checked out and needed to move on.
That's a smart girl right there.
So happy to hear that.
Yep. She's a smarty.
I mean, that's
the self-awareness though, and
that's how you knew. And that's what I'm saying is there's little signs. And so I guess if we were to give you homework, just think about this week. Think about what's this sign, like what's one of your signs. Write down as many as you want, but like that's the thing that tipped you off, Kelly. That was your tipping point, right? For me, it's what I talked about in the video, and same for you. Like we all have different things. Like when I stopped recognizing myself, like there's something to really start having to really pay attention to. Like there's different things that we'll all feel that are our tipping points, but pay attention to what those are. And when you feel them, acknowledge them. When you're aware of them, be aware of them. Let yourself really be aware, and then be like, it's not me, it's you. Yeah. And
gracefully exit.
And that's okay. Or vice versa. Whatever it is. Don't be mean about it unless you want to. I'm just saying. Guinness, LOL. Oh, he's named Guinness. But we'll never know what. Thinking Jack Russell. Okay. He's mixed. I got worried. I was like, I don't think that's a Chihuahua. I think that
it's a kangaroo.
It might be a small kangaroo. Sasha Lee Klopper, hi. Sorry, but those people are called selfish, especially when you have no guilt and continue to hold on to that person. Mistakes happen, but cheating for a period of time is something else. I completely agree.
That's a really good point. It's like, if it happens one time, you're like, oh crap, like something is off here. Let's pay attention to the signal, right? Like, what is it? It's most likely my time to leave. But if you continue to do it and you hang on to that person, you're right. It's so selfish.
Yeah.
You're taking up their time. You're trying to fill your circle, right? With like all these other people. You're hurting a lot of people.
Or if it's a serial situation, serial cheaters, people who make it like a thing that's constantly like those things that you hear about, like that I completely agree. And I'm agreeing with this on the basis of what you're saying, like that's just a person who's selfish. Yeah. I'm agreeing with that on the basis of I've done it. Like, and when I was young and stupid, you're totally right though. It was 100% because I was being selfish. What you just talked about was because you were being selfish and not just selfish in a way of, well, I want my cake and his cake and her cake, and I want to eat all of the, like, then we're getting into a very strange, dragging this to the.
Let's not do that.
It's banging a mug.
It was selfish because I didn't want to do the work on myself, and I wasn't self-aware enough to go, I don't, this will be really painful if we break up. So I'm just going to continue to cheat and keep them around because it's comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's the comfort. You don't want to make yourself uncomfortable by saying to them, hey, I've done these things. I don't want to do these. Or even without getting into the cheating part of just being like, it is okay if somebody else is not enough for you. That does not mean they are not enough.
Yes.
It means that, look, we don't fit.
Yeah.
You're not what I want. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to get tied up in these levels of worth, self-worth. I am absolutely the wrong person to marry anybody other than her. Like, I mean, it's just true. I don't want to. I will not be enough. I will not work hard enough because I'd rather be by myself if I'm not going to be with you.
Same, bro.
Like, great. This worked out really well.
Want to get married?
Let's get married again. Married her.
But yeah, I mean, it has. I like that point though. It has nothing to do with self-worth. We get all wrapped up in, they broke up with me, I'm not good enough.
Yeah, what was wrong with me? What was wrong with me? And sometimes there's an acknowledgement. If they're like, if you have 16, you date 16 people in a month, and every one of them is like, you are really self-absorbed and rude. Every one of them, is like, maybe ask me a question about my life. Like if you go on 16 first dates and all 16 of them are like, how can you talk like that? So like blah, blah, blah. If there's like a common theme, but then again, no, that's just rude. That seems rude, but you know what I mean? Like there's time for self-reflection, but it doesn't have to do with your worth as a human being. You are worthy of love. So don't get it tied up in that.
No.
And don't feel like someone else's worth. That's the flip side of that. When you're breaking up with somebody, there's this very strange power dynamic that comes into play where you're like, well, I don't want to hurt them because they're just not enough for me. That phrase has turned into this thing where we're like, well, you're like looking down and being like, well, you're just not enough. And I mean,
we're tying the relationship with the human being's self-worth.
That's not.
Your relationship is not enough for you. Like, but that person is still a human being, unless they're a total fucking asshole, you guys. And then we can,
Yeah, then they can fuck off.
Right.
Kelly, it was a messy breakup anyways, as you guys know. And I tried forgiving him and moving past it, and took time for me to realize I couldn't. I ended it then.
Smart cookie. So proud of you. And now
hope the new beau is going well. You've seen her on the Zoom party. She's a big baby. I did. Oh, yes. Andrew, the cross sausage dog and beagle is living with me now. It's a puppy and it gets on so well with cats. The kittens cuddle up to him when they stay.
That's cute.
You're killing me. You're killing me over here. And it was in a church parking lot. Oh, that was a poll from earlier. That is a lot.
Mhm.
That is crazy.
That is crazy. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. All the love, all the loves.
Yeah.
And yes, bada bing, bada boom. We didn't get to the Friday refinery episode, but we'll do it really quick.
We'll do it really quick. Okay.
Well, if not, if you guys need to bounce, totally feel free to bounce and come back and check it out later. We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes right now, so this is one of our longer lives. But
yeah, the refinery was great. You guys were talking about
celebrating ourselves. How do you celebrate yourself? And then it turned towards how do we celebrate? How do others, like how do you accept being celebrated by others? And also how do you celebrate others? And as the best person I've ever met at celebrating other people, I just wanted to highlight one more time that I have never seen anyone celebrate other people and their accomplishments the way that you do, with so much honesty and love and empathy for what
I do enjoy it so much.
For what they must want it to feel like. Like a birthday never feels better than when I mean, I've never been at anybody else's birthday or anything that feels better than when you do it, and the things that you've taught me how to celebrate people. And it's so beautiful. It takes so much energy and so much time. Love takes so much energy and so much time. Celebrating others obviously does too, but you have just done it in such an incredible way. And
I really enjoy it.
Do it.
I love to see people feel special and celebrated. And I think I'm addicted to that feeling for them. You know, there's nothing more fulfilling for me to, like, I don't know, do that for people, especially people I love or care about, or I don't know. But I will say on the other end of that, I have a terrible time celebrating myself. And so that's something I struggle with a little bit.
There's a balance.
There's a balance.
There's a balance to be struck.
Right.
But I will say this.
Working on it.
The more, if you know how to celebrate others, at least then you have a way to acknowledge that. Your self-awareness is that, like, look, I don't know how to celebrate myself well.
Well, yes.
You do know how to.
Yes.
You choose not to.
Yes.
And that, I think, is exciting, because there's a lot of people who don't know how to celebrate themselves because they don't know how to celebrate others. So, you know, sometimes maybe try and give somebody else a compliment. Go out of your way to celebrate someone's accomplishment. And whatever you find yourself doing for them, when you feel like you need a moment, look at that and go, well, what did I do for them? What was the goal? Not what did I literally do? Like, I gave them a card, but what was the goal? What was that emotion? And how can I find that for myself? Because I deserve this as well.
Of course. It's funny, your mom and I were talking about this last week, about just this in general, but like how we really have to work on, she and I both have to work on accepting, like, a compliment, or which is basically love, you know, and whether she was saying whether you believe it or not, I try to just accept it. And same, but I also now want to get to the level where, like, I can really digest it and feel it and take it in, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the next level for me, next goal.
I like that. All right, everybody. We will see you on Thursday with another episode. Friday, the refinery season finale was last Friday. Check it out if you didn't. We were talking about celebration, and it is absolutely a beautiful conversation that very much surprised me, as all of those episodes tend to do. But we will still have more refinery stuff coming out this Friday and every subsequent Friday until the new season starts up. It's going to be mostly clips that are focused on some of the previous episodes, so that we can kind of go over some of the things that have happened in past episodes, see how we've grown, talk about some of those things. So don't worry, there's still going to be a refinery video on Friday. And
One little announcement. We haven't picked a date yet, but we are teaming up with Bride Life, as you know, but to do a live.
Yes.
Because we want to collaborate with their community as well and introduce you guys to them. But if you have any friends that are engaged or just coupled or are interested about
or just love
and wedding stuff. Yeah, like even if you're just like a Pinterest cuckoo and you look at flowers all day like me, come to the live. We're gonna pick a day, but invite your friends. We'd love to have them there.
Yeah. All right, love you guys. Mwah. We'll see you later on. And here's the fun, awkward part where I stand really close to the camera and I go, "What? How do I? Did I press the button? Did I press the right one? Did I press it? I think I did. Hello."